everyone, Miss Boots here. I'm very excited because I'm going to be taking you through your literacy lessons over the next few weeks while we're all working from home. And I'm very excited because we're going to be reading a text which I think it'll become pretty clear why I'm excited about this text as soon as I tell you what it's called. But before we get into our literacy lessons, what you're going to need for our lessons today and going forward is you're going to need some paper to write your answers on, a pen or pencil to write your answers in, and of course your brain ready to engage in our learning. So we're going to be learning about a persuasive advert over the next few weeks, and we're going to get started into what that is throughout this lesson today, and we're going to be boxing up our text over the lesson. Before we get started on the real work, we're going to do a bit of a warm-up to get our brains ready for our literacy today. So let me just share my screen with you, and then we're going to jump on over to our lesson. So the first thing that we're going to be doing this morning is our do now. Now, our do now today is going to be using a subordinating conjunction to join two sentences together. So I have a sentence here on the board. I went to the park, it started raining. Two sentences, very boring. Can you use a subordinating conjunction to rewrite those sentences to make it more interesting? For example, I could use one of the subordinating conjunctions down here at the bottom, although, as, if, whether, while, because, when, or even though, or if you know any other subordinating conjunctions, you're welcome to use those as well. But I'm going to use one of those to make this sentence more interesting. So I'm going to change it around and I'm going to use although. So my sentence might say something like, although it started raining, and I must remember that a subordinating conjunction needs a comma to separate the conjunctions. Although it started raining, and putting in my main clause, I went to the park. Now this sentence is much more exciting. Can you please rewrite the other two sentences using a subordinating conjunction to make them more interesting? You need to change the dog sprinted after the squirrel and the squirrel ran up a tree into one sentence using a subordinating conjunction. Pause the video now and rewrite the next two sentences using a subordinating conjunction, and when you're ready you can press play to see some examples of what I would have written. Okay, now that you have written these sentences again using a subordinating conjunction, let me show you an example of what you could have written. You could have changed the dog sprinted after the squirrel ran up a tree into the dog sprinted after the squirrel, however, the squirrel cleverly ran up a tree. And the next sentence, she started reading, her brother stormed in and grabbed her book. You could have changed that to be, she started reading when her brother stormed in and grabbed her book. Okay, just that makes those sentences just that little bit more exciting. Okay, so let's go through our actual lesson today. So today's topic is we're going to be looking at our text that we're going to be breaking down and rewriting over the next 2 weeks. And we're going to be identifying the language features of a persuasive text. So by the end of the lesson, we should be able to know what is a persuasive advert. We need to be able to box up each section and write what is in this section, what's an appropriate summary for that section of the text. And of course, we will be looking at the language features that we're going to be learning about whilst writing this text. So let's have a look. We're going to be writing a persuasive advert. What does the word persuade mean? Just have a think to yourself. What does it mean to persuade someone? Can you remember an example from the very start of the year in September when we wrote a persuasive text to do something? It was back in September, everyone had to write it. A persuasive thing that you had to do. Hopefully you've remembered that at the start of the school year, you had to write a persuasive speech to convince your fellow classmates that you should be the school counsellor. So what does persuade mean? Have a think. And then look at the other word. The word is advert. What is an advert? What does an advert do? Can you remember what advert is short for? Once you've figured out the meaning of persuasive and advert, you should be able to figure out what is a persuasive advert. When you're ready, you may unpause the video to see what it is. Okay, so a persuasive advert is used to convince potential customers to buy a featured product. Advert, short for advertisement, is when you advertise a product or service. You show off a product that you're trying to sell, and persuade means to convince somebody to do something. So in this case, a persuasive advert is used to convince a customer to buy a specific product. And we're going to be looking at a specific product that is for sale in our text. I'm very excited. Let me show you. We're going to be reading a text called The Teacher Pleaser. Now you see why Miss Boots thought this is going to be a great text. So let me switch over to our Teacher Pleaser text, and you can see it on my screen. So I'm going to read it, and as we go through it, if there are any words that you don't understand, I'll try to explain them. You can also write them down in your book, and you can ask myself or your teacher on Seesaw, what do those words mean? Here we go. Starting in our first paragraph. Do you struggle to put a smile on your teacher's face? Wouldn't it be fantastic if you could see them beaming all day long? If your answer is yes, then the Teacher Pleaser is exactly what you've been waiting for. It is an exciting new machine that has been proven to cheer up even the grumpiest of teachers. The Teacher Pleaser has many fantastic and useful features. I'm just going to pause here. The word features is like a special part of something, okay? So a useful feature, for example, on a laptop is the Word document that I'm writing on. A useful feature of a phone is the ability to call somebody. So it's that special part of the product that people want to buy. So the Teacher Pleaser has many fantastic and useful features, including one that will provide your teacher with fresh tea or coffee every morning. As soon as your teacher presses the large red button on the side of the machine, it will instantly pour them a delicious hot drink of their choice. Not only will this keep your teacher warm in the cold winter months, it will also give them energy for the day ahead. What is more, if your teacher puts their foot on the pedal at the bottom of the machine, they will receive a warm croissant that they can enjoy with their beverage. The word here, croissant, is a French bakery dish. It's a pastry. It's very delicious. Okay, moving on. The most desired feature, the word there desired just means the most wanted. The most desired feature of the Teacher Pleaser is its marking ability. When your teacher has a set of books that need marking, all they need to do is place them into the purple tray at the bottom of this amazing machine. Within minutes, every book will be complete. This will save your teachers hours in the evenings, allowing them to spend more time with their friends and family. On top of that, it will also provide personalized stamps and stickers for each child who produces exceptional work. From January this year, the Teacher Pleaser will be available in stores all over the country. With a free gift available to the first 500 customers, you would be silly to miss out. Buy your Teacher Pleaser today to transform your teacher's life. What are you waiting for? So hopefully you can see why I thought this was a fantastic text, and I am very much looking forward to you all buying myself, Mr. Parker and Miss Jones a Teacher Pleaser for the rest of the school year. Thank you very much. But in all seriousness now, let's have a look through at what each paragraph is about. We're going to try to summarize each paragraph and come up with what is that paragraph about? What's a title that I could give it? So I'm going to read you the paragraph. After I've read you the paragraph, I'd like you to pause the video and write down what you think that paragraph was about. What, if you could sum it up in 1 or 2 words, what would it be? Okay, so let me go back to the Teacher Pleaser paragraph 1. Just listening and thinking, what is this about? Do you struggle to put a smile on your teacher's face? Wouldn't it be fantastic if you could see them beaming all day long? If your answer is yes, then the Teacher Pleaser is exactly what you've been waiting for. It is an exciting new machine that has been proven to cheer up even the grumpiest of teachers. So just looking at that first paragraph, what is the point? What do you think this paragraph is about? Are there any clues in the words? Is it introducing anything in particular? What is it trying to achieve? I'd like you to pause the video, and in your book, I would like you to write down paragraph 1 and what you think we could call paragraph 1, please. When you're ready to see my answer, you can press play again. Okay, now that you've written down what you think the paragraph is about, let me show you what I thought it was about. So this paragraph seems to be introducing this product to me, telling me about the main features, what's the point of it, okay? So I thought this paragraph would be the introduction. Now, another word for introduction in a persuasive text is called the hook. You think of it like a hook, like it catches you, it hooks you in, you want to keep reading on because it's so exciting. So this is the hook, it is hooking me in, making me want to read more. Fantastic, let's have a look at the second paragraph and see if we can figure out what it's about. Here we go. The teacher pleaser has many fantastic and useful features, including one that will provide your teacher with fresh tea or coffee every morning. As soon as your teacher presses the large red button on the side of the machine, it will instantly pour them a delicious hot drink of their choice. Not only will this keep your teacher warm in the cold winter months, it will also give them energy for the day ahead. What is more, if your teacher puts their foot on the pedal at the bottom of the machine, they will receive a warm croissant that they can enjoy with their beverage. Beverage is just another word for drink, in case you weren't sure. So, thinking again to yourself, what is this paragraph about? What key information is it trying to get across? I'd like you to pause the video now and please write down what you think paragraph 2 is about. When you're ready to see the answer, just press play again. Okay, now that you have written down what you think the paragraph is about, I'm going to tell you what I thought it was about. So the first sentence says, the teacher pleaser has many fantastic and useful features, which made me think, well, this paragraph is telling me about the key feature, the most important parts of the machine, which is why I've called this paragraph Details About Feature 1. Hopefully you got something similar. Don't worry if you didn't though. Let's have a look at paragraph 3. Paragraph 3 starts like this. The most desired feature of the teacher pleaser is its marking ability. When your teacher has a set of books that needs marking, all they need to do is place them into the purple tray at the bottom of this amazing machine. Within minutes, every book will be complete. This will save your teachers hours in the evening, allowing them to spend more time with their friends and family. On top of that, it will also provide personalised stamps and stickers for each child who produces exceptional work. So again, I'd like you to pause the video, please, and write down paragraph 3. What do you think this paragraph is about? What is it trying to get across? What's the main point? When you're ready to see my answer, you can press play again. Okay, now that you've written down your answer to paragraph 3, what do you think it's about? Let me show you. Again, this paragraph says the most desired feature, so I thought, oh, it's definitely to do with telling me another feature of the teacher pleaser. So I called this paragraph Details About Feature 2. Straight to the point. Okay, having a look now at our last paragraph and seeing if we can figure out what it's about. It says, from January this year, the teacher pleaser will be available in stores all over the country. With a free gift available to the first 500 customers, you would be silly to miss out. Buy your teacher pleaser today to transform your teacher's life. What are you waiting for? So, again, your turn. Pause the video, write down what you think this particular paragraph is about, and really think, what new information has it introduced in this paragraph that might give you a clue as to what this paragraph is about. When you're ready to see my answer, you can unpause the video. Okay, so the last paragraph, I thought, if we look back, it has the information about from January, available in stores all over the country, a free gift. It seemed to be telling me a lot about where I can buy it, how I can buy it, and what extra benefits I get, which is why this particular paragraph I called Purchasing Information and Special Offers. So we know our structure of our paragraph now. We know it's got introduction, one of the most important features, a second most important feature, and purchasing information. And that is all embedded into a persuasive advert. So the next thing we're going to be doing is looking at the language features that we're going to be working on over the next 2 weeks that make our writing more interesting. So we've got 4 different language features that we're going to try to identify. The first thing is the yellow. Have a look at the yellow words, the text in yellow on the screen. It says, do you struggle to put a smile on your teacher's face? Wouldn't it be fantastic if you could see them beaming all day long? I would like you to try to think, what language feature is this? What could you call it? Can you spot any particular punctuation in these sentences that gives you a clue as to what they are? I'd like you to pause the video and write down what you think this language feature is and why. Try to think. You don't need to write it down, but think to yourself, why would I use that? Why does that make this a good piece of writing? When you're ready, unpause the video. Okay, let's see what it is. It is rhetorical questions. So, do you struggle to put a smile on your teacher's face? That is a rhetorical question. The clue was in the question mark at the end there. What is a rhetorical question? Well, a rhetorical question is used to persuade or influence somebody by making them stop and think. You're not asking to get the answer. I'm not saying, really, I don't really want to know. Do you struggle to put a smile on your teacher's face? You don't need to actually answer that, but it's put in there so that you stop and you think to yourself, oh, do I struggle to do that? So it's there to make the person reading the text just think about it. Wouldn't it be fantastic if you could see them beaming all day long? You're not meant to answer it, but it's there for an effect so that you stop to think about what you're being asked. Well done. Number 2, let's have a look at the green words this time. So I'll read them out to you and I want you to be thinking, and this is a language feature we've done before, so hopefully you'll remember what it's called. Many fantastic and useful features. Fresh tea or coffee. The large red button on the side of the machine. A delicious hot drink. Cold winter months and a warm croissant. What language feature do you think it is? Now is the time to pause the video and write down what this language feature is called and think to yourself, why have we been using it throughout the year? Press play when you're ready to know the answer. Okay, so the answer to this one is expanded noun phrases. So we have been using expanded noun phrases throughout the entire year. We should be very familiar with that. An expanded noun phrase, hopefully you remembered, is to add more detail and describe the noun. Okay, this actually makes it more persuasive as we're reading it. For example, we could just say, gives your teacher tea and coffee. It gives them fresh tea and coffee, really brings to mind that hot, delicious drink. The large red button makes me picture a very big, bright red button, as opposed to it gives me a croissant. Okay, I like a croissant. It gives me a warm croissant. Oh, now I really want it. So it persuades me because I'm more excited by what I'm reading. Okay, moving on to the blue language feature. So I'm going to read it again. Try to think, what is it? When your teacher has a set of books that needs marking, within minutes, on top of that. So I would like you to think, what are these called? You've done them quite a lot throughout the year, so we should be very familiar with this type of language feature. And start thinking to yourself, why do we use this? Why do all of our teachers think this is really important in our writing? So pause the video here, write down your answer, and then press play when you're ready to see the answer. Okay, now that you've written your answer, let me show you. You hopefully got fronted adverbials, also known as sentence starters. So our fronted adverbials are used to give the reader more detail or also pique their interest in what you're about to say. As an extra challenge today, can you name the 5 different types of fronted adverbials that we've been learning about? I'll give you a hint. The first one is manner fronted adverbials. They tell me how something happens. In your books, you can write down the other 4 types of fronted adverbials and share it with us on Seesaw if you think you can remember them all. Don't worry if you don't. Okay, moving on to our last language feature is the purple language feature. Now, this is not something we have taught throughout the year, so you might not know what it's called, but have your very best guess. Let me read it to you. You would be silly to miss out. Transform your teacher's life. What are you waiting for? What do you think that language feature could be? And why do you think it's in there? So I'd like you to pause the video now and write down what you think it is and try to think to yourself, why would we use this language feature? When you're ready to hear the answer, please press play. Okay, now that you have written your answer, let me show you. This language feature is persuasive language. Okay, persuasive language does exactly what it sounds like. It convinces you, it persuades you that what is being said is true. It convinces you to do or buy something. Okay, so we're going to use persuasive language all throughout our writing over the next 2 weeks to convince somebody to buy a product from us. So that ends our lesson for today for literacy. Okay, we're going to be, let me bring up my screen, there we go. We're going to be continuing our learning over the next few days, and tomorrow we're going to be learning and using rhetorical questions, which are a lot of fun to write, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing you later. Bye.